Oh man. All right. We are live. This is a Black Tech Experience. My name is Rami Pruitt. I'm the FAANG software engineer. Really excited for this broadcast. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. I'm giving you 5 tips on my. Let me see if I can forget the button to do that. Trying to see what button do I press for timestamps. Ugh, whatever. 1 second. Give it audio, camera, hotkeys. It's M, isn't it? I'm just checking to see what hotkey I use to mark timestamps for myself. I'll be right back. Shift layout navigation. Ugh, that noise. B marker. Okay, it was B. All right. Yes, I am back. And yeah, I have a really good show for you guys today. I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I wish somebody would have told me before starting my career in tech. Hopefully, you guys can find meaning in it, as well as we're going to be looking at Gen AI, a model as a game engine. It's an article about how these researchers at Google were able to create a game just from a stable diffusion model to play a game and emulate for long periods of time what it is like to play the game of Doom. We're going to be taking a bigger look into that. Also, I'm going to be ranting about the current state of AI. Honestly, I think some people have said that AI has taken many jobs away from software engineers, and I think that is bullshit. And what else? I'm going to be maybe not in this order. I'm going to be reacting as a programmer to movie clips based upon other software engineers. Now, movies show programmers and hopefully give you some light on what actually is going on in my day-to-day job. And yeah, I think the Amazon CEO said software engineers might be done in the next 2 years, which is interesting. Definitely a bold prediction. We're going to be watching some videos that discuss more of that, and it should be a full show for you guys. But without further ado, let's get into the 5 things that I wish somebody would have told me before starting my software engineering career. So if you don't know me, my name is Rami Pruitt. I'm a software engineer at a FAANG company. I started my career at Fisk University with my computer science degree, went on to Cornell to get my master's in computer science. I've gotten interns with companies like Google, Dell, and yeah, I've basically been everywhere as a contractor, started all the way from the bottom, making 50K, all the way to working at Twitch, which is owned by Amazon, and making 190 at that time. And so, excuse me, guys, my eye is twitching. But yeah, I've had a really great career, and honestly, sometimes I still feel like it's not good enough because I made a lot of mistakes. I feel like I could have been here a lot faster. And so, hopefully, with me telling you what these 5 things are, I can speed up your career. I can help you make less mistakes than I did. And so, number one, I would say business. If you want to be a software engineer, if you want to work at Google and you want to maximize the most money that you can make in your career, you have to understand that business is greater than computer science. What do I mean by that? Computer science, like when I first learned how to program, let me see if I can fix this twitch in my eye. When I first started learning how to program, I fell in love with the solving of riddle part of it. I fell in love with like spending weeks and weeks not having any deadlines, just mentally straining myself in order to solve a problem that way that I learned it. And in the real world, that would be, in the business world, excuse me, that is the complete opposite way that we go about solving problems. We have to get things in at a speedy pace in order to continue to provide value for our customers and earn their trust. If you see Facebook, or I guess Meta now, right? They have a saying. It goes, "Done is better than perfect," and that is so true in business. Like when something is done, we can optimize it later. We can perfect it later. But if we wait for perfection, it will never get to where we could run out of business before we ever perfect what we need to perfect. And so, yeah, I felt like programming was about like solving these amazing problems and always coming up with these like really genius solutions. Like maybe we'll see in during later where we watch in the movies where like a hacker just comes or some genius program comes up with this algorithm and it saves the day. That's just not how it works in reality. And sometimes we gotta build it as we fly it, as they say. And so number two, something that I really wish somebody would have told me as I was making more money across my career is that with more money comes more problems. And what I mean by that is that um, everybody likes the idea of being able to what is like make money and have the best title in a company. But with that title comes more responsibility. You get pulled, the more senior you get pulled into more disaster projects. You get blamed first when things go wrong, and you can hide less. You're the first person they want to fire because you're making the most money. And so it takes having all that pressure on your head, right? Let's say I just had an interview with Coinbase, and this recruiter was trying to get me to go up for their senior software engineer position. And I looked up online how much does a senior at Coinbase makes allegedly. I don't work there, I don't know, but um, allegedly they make like 400K. And as you can imagine, I would love to make that money. I would absolutely love to make 400K a year. But I understand I'm not ready for that. I consider myself more of a mid-level software engineer. Maybe in the next 2 to 3, maybe even 4 years, I'll be functioning like a senior, depending on the current state of AI and all that, whatever. But yeah, it's just I don't want to skip any steps anymore, right? When I was a software engineer, I had this. I thought my Ivy League degree was gonna, make me get all this money, and I wouldn't have to work as hard as the people who started at day zero. But um, for all the theory that I got taught in school, it's not the same. It's not the same thing as actually working a job, and so yeah, it's. I told that recruiter, no, I don't want to go for that position. I don't even want to waste your time. If that's what you guys are looking for, if you're looking for a senior, then I'll allow you to go find somebody else that maybe fits that qualification better. And I think that's so mature of me in my career to say no. Like say bonus tip, say no more. Like that's a more senior trait. Like don't allow people to push you into things before you're ready, because um, if you say yes, they holding you completely accountable. But yeah, that's number two. Number three, I would say FAANG is overrated. What you really want, the thing that you want more than the like money and status and easy life, is financial freedom. I have, I guess, a mentor in my YouTube game, and he talks about how he makes 10 grand a day sometimes when it's peak season in YouTube. And That's way more money than I'll ever make in a day as a senior software engineer at Netflix, at Google. It doesn't matter. That's what you really want. And this guy, he can work, he doesn't necessarily have to work 8, 10 hours. Well, some days he's working 12 hours a day, right? Some days he's working 10 hours a day. And then other days he's chilling, right? I'm not going to tell you that this life is without suffering, right? Even though it's making the money. I would say that I've had friends that are principal engineers at Google or technically staff, right? And even they get upset with the politics that they have to go through and how much a company is your ball and chain in your desires. And so once you go to a company, you have to play their game. You have to play the political game a bit. I'm not saying that you can't get through without your talent, but there will always be a component of politics, of are you the guy that looks like the guy, not are you the guy that's actually doing the work. Sometimes it's, do you look like, does it look like on paper, does it look like you're leading things? And so yeah, I would say, after the free food and the video games and, the trips, after that's all said and done, what you really want is to be free. So, yeah, wish I wouldn't have spent, but yeah, that's it on that. FAANG is overrated. Please, if you get a great opportunity, if you are a hustler, you work hard, you're a great leader. If you're developing yourself every day, you don't need FAANG. FAANG needs you. And so, number 4, I'm not even recording my points. Number 4, I would say, is that go deep, not wide. I think I spent a long portions of my career just learning everything, right? Getting a little bit of C++, getting a little bit of web development, getting a little bit of mobile development, getting a little bit of blockchain. But what's better than getting a little bit of everything is going deep in one subject. Imagine if you have a portfolio of different websites that you've made over the last 3 to 4 years, where you've hooked it up with a back end. That is a whole lot better than knowing a little bit about everything. And so I think, and maybe this is part of me as a, what is the word? My intelligence, I really enjoy learning a little bit of everything, but in order to be helpful to a company, you have to master things. It's way better to be somebody in the company that's an expert that we can count on and be knowledgeable about a certain subject than to be able to switch to different teams. And so I would say, if you are studying something right now, set plans to study it for the next 1.5 to 3 years, if you can, and go deep into that subject. If that's web development, like I've seen people who are just masters of Python be able to make websites extremely fast, build them for clients, and then go on. And so I think that is a stronger, and then you learn more about business too, which brings me back to my point number 1. And so, yeah, I know it's extremely hard to find something that you want to be a specialist in, right? Like even to this day, I don't know there's many things that I'm curious about in computer science. I don't know if there's anything I want to dedicate the next 10 years of my life to. However, if you can figure out that one thing you want to be the best on the planet, then that is way better than doing what I did, which took me a long time to become a master of a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, when you're a software engineer, you have to be masters of many different things. Like there's never a chance when you can use one programming language to make a product. Many times you have to use many. Still, be more focused on one thing. And so, number 4, I would say experience is king. Experience is greater than university. I met guys that got the same job as me at Twitch, and had they dropped out of college. And so, what that showed, and these same guys, right? I met guys who did not even get a computer science degree. They've been working at just for 2 years, and they're a way better help than me on the team just because they have experience solving the problems they need to solve on the team. And so for this, I would say going experience is a lot better than university. Of course, getting that opportunity is tough. However, yeah, if you are a self-taught programmer and you don't want to go to school, that is okay, because there's still a lot of opportunity out here for you, especially if you can get great experience. And so, yeah, I would I would keep going in that direction. And then let me see. I would guess, yeah, I want to just say number 5 is just focus on being a leader. Being a leader, I feel like when I was young, I wanted to be a programmer because I wanted to be away from people. And that's because I was a shy introverted nerd or whatever. But that style of play is not conducive to business. What I have found on my team is it's almost like being on a basketball team, working together, solving problems, dealing with people who are selfish. These things are important. Learning how to influence people and bring the best out of them. That is tough. And it's what you need in business. Teams are filled with people who, or when you're on a coding team, it's almost you get thrown into problems. You're in the NBA, right? You get faced with problems and competitors, and you have to overcome them as a team. And no one person is greater than everybody. I feel like I've been on great teams where I really trust everybody on my team, and I've been on teams where I felt like everybody was selfish and they were just trying to get the check. And so, yeah, it is a journey, and being a leader is so much more important than you could even believe. Like, once you become a senior software engineer, you don't even code, which is insane, right? Like, when I thought like being a programmer, like a senior, the one that is the highest, is like solving the most problems. But no, like, as you go up the company ladder, it's more about your leadership ability. So just want to say being a great leader is super important and underrated. So, yeah, if you follow these tips, I promise you'll have a much better career. As well as, work hard, be disciplined, focus on going deep. Don't worry about fame and the money; it'll come eventually. And yeah, be careful about the opportunities that you take, because you don't want to step into things before you're ready. More money, more problems, and then business. Learn business, like, and I don't know where you can get that experience, but if you get into a new opportunity, don't be trying to optimize and use the binary search or whatever. Learn the business, learn the product, learn what the customers need, learn how you're solving the problem already. Those are the questions that I will be asking, like, when I join a new team, if I join a new team. But yeah, thank you so much for listening to my 5 things that I wish somebody would have told me in my career. Let me know in the comments. Does this resonate with you? Do you disagree with anything that I've said? Do you have any tips for me? I would really appreciate it. But peace. All right. I'm gonna put my glasses on. I got people joining in and out. Woo. Looks like the lights went on and off. Just wiping my glasses. So let's get into another topic, which is the game engine. If I can share my screen, I don't know if I like that. Now I got dark on me. I wonder if my camera's gonna fix it, or do I have to fix it? Let me do a sound check real quick too. Make sure everything is copacetic. And let's see if I change it. And that. Yeah, if you're in the lobby, let me know where you're from, who's here. I'd love to communicate with you. Experience is greater than. All right, just making sure I got that working. And there we go. The light's on. And we are going to got two people. Let me know where you're from. Shout out to your city. Who am I talking to? And that's weird. Does it have no mute? Gonna share my screen. All right. And I'm gonna put that down for now. And we're gonna make a VA. What's up, my guy? Virtual Creation Corp. I'm in Seattle. I don't know if you. I think I did a video on the top 10 cities for to take advantage of AI, and I don't think the DMV area was on there. I think. So yeah. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that. We're getting there. We are getting there. And so I guess I'm going to start my next video, or my next segment. But what is up? My name is Romy Pruitt. I'm a software engineer at a FAANG company. And today we are talking about the new model that's being used as a game engine. Can you imagine a world in the future where we have AI able to replicate the world of Grand Theft Auto, not from the source code, but merely from playing it? It's able to do this from using AI agents, as well as a model for predicting the next pixel, diffusion models. If you've seen the text to video models, then you will understand a little bit about that. And so, yeah, what is an agent? What are these new things that are taking over the programming world? Well, you can think of an agent. Similarly, like we have small building blocks that we use in order to run code, like lambdas. Consider these lambdas that are capable of planning and executing things based upon that plan. It'll come up with a plan and it will come with it. You can see agents in systems like The Roomba, if you've seen the little vacuum things, they come up with a plan on how to clean your house. And they start by picking up and figuring out where the wall is. Once they hit the wall, they realize, hey, we hit the wall. Let's make a new plan to cover a different area. And you can even see multi-agentic systems. If you've seen multiple Roombas in a place, they can coordinate together where one is a leader, they're coming up with a plan on how to disperse these different agents. Or if you've seen Red Dead Redemption, in the system, and this system is another example of how agents work, where all the different NPCs, they come up with a plan. Maybe the plan is to go fishing, come back, sell it. There's another agent that is, let me stay at the store all day and night and figure out how do I make a markup on trading goods. This is an example of agentic systems. And so hopefully with that context, we're able to get into this article and figure out exactly how do they go about it. So yeah, I like that. And we're going to go to GameNGen. So, and let's get a close up. We like the, what? I don't know. Let me make sure you guys are still good. Yeah, it looks good. All right, just get a close up. Diffusion models are real-time game engines. Google Research, TellAv, Google DeepMind. So yeah, Google DeepMind is kind of the place with all the different machine learning things in Google. So yeah, just looking at this game, what's astounding to me is that how much of the game can it play? You know, how are these enemies showing up? How much do they have to spend in order to make this stuff? Real-time recordings of people playing the game Doom, simulated entirely by GameNGen neural model. We present GameNGen, the first GameNGen abstract powered entirely by our neural model that enables real-time interaction with a complex environment over long trajectories at high quality. GameNGen can indirectly stimulate. Let me see if I can give you guys a mouse. There we go. Can indirectly simulate the classic game Doom at over 20 frames per second on a single TPU. I've heard something that like renting a TPU for an hour is like $3,000. It's insane. Next frame prediction achieved as PSN hour of 29.4, comparable to lossy JPEG compression. Human raters are slightly than random chance at distinguishing the short clips of the game from clips of the simulation. GameNGen is trained in two phases: a recursive something agent learned to play the game, and the training sessions are recorded. And two, a diffusion model is trained to produce the next frame. Conditions on the sequence of past frames and actions, conditions, augmentations enable stable autoregressive generation over long trajectories. So yeah, looking at the game. Oh, they even got weapons showing up. I wonder how much of this game, it seems like you would have to play the game for an extremely long time in order to pick up all the nuances inside of the game. Like they got the barrels. They got the toxic wakes and his health is going down. They got dudes showing up. I do think the graphics don't look that good, but I don't know if that's comparable to what it actually is. Like you see, they got this like little face twitching right here, which is interesting. Like his eyebrows or whatever. Like you can see a little bit of the pixels. I guess the bullets not coordinating correctly. But yeah, this is insane to think about. So I guess here's the architecture. Yeah. So one agent is learning how to play the game and like recording the frames, and then the diffusion model. We're seeing the diffusion model be good enough to be able to create 60-second videos with ChatGPT Cora. I'm really excited to see some of that stuff. I really want to animate some of my videos in a way that is better for learning and more digestible. So keep on the lookout for that. Data collection via agent play. Since we cannot collect human gameplay at scale, in the first stage, we trained on an automatic RL agent to play the game, persisting as training episodes of actions and observations, which became the training data for our generative model. I wonder if the agent is supposed to just kind of like the Roomba. I don't even know if that's called the vacuum, the little vacuum Roomba thing. It's kind of similar to that, where you just like search and figure out the limits and bounds of the game. Then you have training on the generative diffusion model. We repurpose a small diffusion model, stable diffusion 1.4, condition a sequence of previous actions and observation. To mitigate autoregression drift during inference, we corrupt context frames by adding Gaussian noise to encode frames during training. This allowed the network to correct information sampled in previous frames. We found it to be critical for preserving visual stability over long time periods. Latent decoder and fine tuning. The pre-trained autoencoder of Stable Diffusion 1.4, which compresses 8 by 8 pixel patches into 4 latent channels, resulting in meaningful artifacts when predicting game frames, which affects small details and particularly the bottom of the bar hub. To leverage the pre-trained knowledge while improving image quality, we trained the decoder on the latent encoder using an MSC loss computed against the large target frame pixel. And I guess that's it. Yeah, I'm not going to read the research paper for you guys, but I really thought this was cool, and I'm really excited to see how this is going to be used in actual business. Maybe we'll see people ripping people off, just like how you can still pay per views online. Like maybe you'll have a AI emulator bootleg game in the future, but yeah, it's exciting work. I don't know what other applications that can be used from this, but I thought it was really cool. Let's see what you guys thought about it. Esports, let me get a close up back on myself. Esports and game terms are going to be rigged by AI, you think? I do think, you know, if you guys are following chess, you will see that there is this existential threat that some players are cheating and we don't know how to catch them. So if you can imagine, if the AI is getting so much better that it's hard to detect cheaters, it'll be it almost destroys the fun of the game. Like you labbing something out so much that there's just one correct way to do it has made the game less creative and less enjoyable for everybody. And so it is quite sad. I think there will be more cheating, and maybe in the future we will have more ways to detect when a human being is lying too by AI. Yeah, it's just hard. It's hard to predict. I think I'm not too worried. I like to take one day at a time, and if it ever gets to a point where some of the things I love get boring because of that, then it is what it is. Hope that answers your questions. You can run a TPU on GCP. Yep, that's cool. It's like if you have the knowledge and the experience, you can do your own AI training with these computers. And so even if you had a small budget, just wanted to see how much of that game could I emulate with just like $300? I think that'd be a really cool project. And maybe, hopefully, I wonder if sometimes the AWS is going to create things that make it easier for programmers, or if we're just AI auto generate is going to be a lot easier for creating some of these projects for us. And we hear you good. Let me see. Online tournament. Oh yeah. Online tournaments. Going back to that question about experts going to tournaments. Yeah, we're definitely probably going to see more video cameras of people and have more stringent, probably be more stringent. What is the word? More stringent checking for cheating measures in the future. But I think it's possible. We just got to adapt with the times. I think we'll eventually be able to detect, but if it launched in the next few months, it will be not be detectable. Yeah, I think we're gonna go through many eras of us having AI. People take advantage of AI, and us finding ways to counteract that so that we can still enjoy games like chess or fighting games or whatever. But yeah, once we see how the AI, actually, I don't know, like if you guys have seen chess and you've seen how computers play against each other, sometimes they'll come up with moves that are so beyond human understanding that it inspires more beautiful games. Like in chess, I don't know if you guys know, but generally it's really recommended that you castle for defense. And so we've seen people like Magnus Carlsen leave their king in the center of the board and still win. And he says because we've seen AI do it and win games like that, we understand that maybe it's not as bad as we thought to do that. And so it's inspiring us to take more risk, which is beautiful. Even though the game of chess has gotten more boring because of AI, I think at the highest levels of chess, there is still us needing to take a risk. So still a lot of beauty in the chess games of today, even though most players are studying via the computer. And have you seen the Palantirs? All right, I'm gonna end the video there, but let me guys know: are you excited to see AI create video games in the future, or do you feel like this is going to destroy the gaming industry? Um, but other than that, peace. I want to get to more of your questions just so we get some times. Have you seen the work Palantir is doing? I am not. I've always heard of Palantir being a very secretive company on the things that they do. I don't know if they do government like work. So no, I don't know what Palantir is doing. If you can enlighten me, I'll talk about it. I think Allen Iverson needs to take advantage of the popularity of AI and make an AI. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the Kindred AI. I saw another creator like argue with herself, and the Kindred AI was like calling her like a bitch, and I was like, wow, like the AI is super funny, or maybe getting more lifelike. I don't know. Practice. I leave that for the computer. Yeah, yeah, you definitely gotta practice to get a chess. I think it'd be cool. Looking forward to the next. And they do data-driven decision stuff. Oh, okay. I guess he's talking about Palantir. Yeah, I've been really getting more into data. I think, yeah, if you don't know what I did at Twitch, I was part of the ads measurements team. So it's about moving data from and I want to mark this. It was about moving data from about how users were interacting with the video player to third parties so that we could get the content creators more money. So I was not the guy showing you ads. I was the guy that was helping the creators get more money. And I think it's a beautiful business of content creation. And I think it got me started on my journey. So um yeah, just a little side note on that. Including defense. Yeah, defensive work. I feel like I don't know. I feel like Palantir is doing a lot of things that we don't really know. We can't really say for certain what they're doing. And whenever somebody is not keeping you whenever somebody's being a little bit secretive, I'm always just a little bit worried because there are software engineers who probably do some who probably subtract to society because of the evil things that governments and people want them to do. So looks like some people are going away. But let me see. I want to do one more thing. I saw that there was this tool that would help you create UIs, and I did want to take a look into that. Let me get this quick. Sorry for that. UIchassis.com. Let's take a look at that. UI chat. Trying to see if I can find it real quick. GitHub docs, blog themes, tools. I want to see. Maybe this is not it. Oh, it's Vercel's V0 tool. Let's take a look at that. V0 tool. All right, this is gonna get fun, guys. I'm gonna answer a few more questions. What are your thoughts on how the tech market is looking for hiring? I think it looks bad. I think it looks absolutely bad right now. But I think that's par for the course. I'm gonna have a segment on my AI rant, but obviously, spoiler alert, companies are investing more money into their AI efforts, and so they don't have a lot of money to hire people. I think, the period is going to end. Maybe in the next 1.5 years, they're going to have a big hiring spree once we know how to use the AI and be more productive with it. So I'd be on the lookout. Keep hustling, guys. I promise you it's going to pay off, whether that's you're with a company, you join a company, or whether that's you making your own company, because AI has been that helpful. Better believe, like I saw something that said in 2029, by 2029, AI is going to create over like $10 trillion. And so you want a piece of that. I want a piece of that. So keep your skills up, keep hustling. It's, keep following this channel. We're going to ride the AI wave. And so it's nothing to fear. It's tough times right now. And really, somebody thinks ChatGPT does a better job of creating UIs. I think they're all using ChatGPT for the AI backends. I've heard very good things about Claude. I need to do a video just reacting to Claude and keeping up to date with the models. But yeah, I use ChatGPT for pretty much everything, and really excited for what's going on next. And you like Vercel later on AWS. Yeah, if you don't have the right skills, if you want my 2 cents on how to get a job, and let's say you're starting from the bottom of the barrel, there's a channel, Simone Bees, she talks about GovTech. All you have to do is get certifications, and then people will start blowing up your phone to get you into jobs. You might have to go overseas, but you work your way up to 90, 90, 220, like you can get there. And so if I wanted to get into tech, go to search route, go to Simone B's page, really great stuff. If you want to be a software engineer like me, I can join the Discord, ask me questions. Maybe I'm going to get to making consultations, but I really like interacting with y'all. Keep following this channel. I don't know, Of course, I'm making a lot of good money, y'all. I really do appreciate the money, but the BS that comes with that is real too. So, all right, I mean, I really appreciate y'all. You don't know how happy I am to have people asking me questions in my live streams. When that happens, it makes this stuff way more fun. Uh, so, but other than that, I wanted to get into another topic, which is I saw I saw that Vercel just came out with a new tool for making UIs, and I wanted to give a reaction to my first thoughts on this. So let me make sure. Let's see one more thing. All right, and I'm going to make it like that. I like that a little bit better. So yeah, I'm going to mark this. If you guys don't know me, my name is Romy Pruitt. I'm a software engineer at FAANG Company, and today we're reacting to the new Vercel's new UI library or AI prompt to create UI libraries. And so I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's automating a part. If you guys don't know, back in the day, you had to be a CSS master in order to create buttons, beautiful buttons and component libraries. Or you could have used something like Tailwind CSS, Bootstrap. But now with this, it seems like it's going to be a lot easier to make custom UI templates. So generate UIs. Let me take that off. Let's play around with it and see what we can give. I'm going to say generate I want a component library that is for sports. Generate a button based upon sports. I don't even know how to spell based. Based upon sports themes. I redeemed myself, guys. Oh, we have to sign in? That was so anticlimactic. I'm going to sign in with GitHub. All right, guys. I'm going to take a pause. I don't know if I don't want you guys to see me enter in my password or whatever. I don't think it matters too much. I don't think it matters too much. Actually, you guys can't see too much of that anyway. You can't find my account. Continue with Bitbucket. Log in. How can you not find my GitHub account? Ugh. What else can I do? Log in with passkey. I guess I'm gonna try to log in with my email. I don't even remember my Vercel account though. And they sent something to my email. Ugh, this is taking forever. Do I even have an account with Vercel? I don't see anything in my email. Yeah. Sorry for the delay. I'm going to try signing up with one of my accounts. I guess you guys know my email now. Other sign up options, Bitbucket, GitLab. Huh. What a pain. All right. Well, I figured this out. Let's see if I can sign up. Okay, finally got it working. So I say sign up and it works. All right, yeah, we're back. What a pain. It's loading. First thing I'm looking at is how long it takes it to load. That's the one thing that I'm noticing with these AI tools is that the time it takes for them to fetch their data and then come back with answers is kind of a long time. I wonder if like that's with RAG or what's the issue with it taking so long. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh the page just to make sure it's not something it didn't get stuck because this is just a bad experience. So I refreshed the page and now it's doing its thing. Huh. I'd say these buttons are not all that cool. Football, basketball, baseball. Okay. Click to close. Yeah, I feel like I could have made this myself, to be honest. But it did generate the code and it's in TypeScript. Let's try something else. Maybe can you make a sports header or sports nav bar that is themed for basketball? We'll give it something a little bit more specific. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Interesting. That's pretty cool. I think I think there's a bug with a calendar here. I don't know if you guys can see this stuff. And it has errors. So I would say that my first thought is that it's buggy. And although this is good, it did come up with some interesting like emoticons too. I just don't like you. I don't know. Can you guys see this like calendar thing? Let me see if I can give you a close up. Like what's going on with this Oh wow! Like do you see that? Like it's already mobile friendly. That is cool. Even though it looks like a mobile button, it's not working. Okay. So when I resize the page, oh man, that's a pain. So yeah, looks like it's pretty good, but it's not that good. And what are they using? Are they using? It looks like they're using Tailwind CSS. Basketball home calendar React. I think it's a cool product in theory. I'm not sure if I wouldn't mind using this. I would use this sparingly, maybe for some ideas. What else can I do? I wonder. It seems like this is an agent to me. Like it's coming up with a plan and then getting something. How about what else can I think about? Can you make a baseball form? Oh, they have a retry button. Huh. I was thinking like it was gonna make some like uh I wanted a baseball theme form. Yeah, I think so that's what you're saying, guys. Like you see me I didn't ask the question specific enough, and so it gave me something that I didn't want. How about themed form? Let's try that. Uh, it's green. I don't know if green is next to players. It made one modal. Uh, and then what is with this library? I mean, this the calendar that keeps showing up. So yeah, not really feeling this form either. Yeah, but I like that they have a retry. Let's see if we click the retry, will it come up with something better? Not gonna lie, I'm kind of. My first thought is that I'm gonna go ahead and mark this. My first thought from this is that I'm a little bit underwhelmed with this. Like I was expecting something to be mind blowing, and this has been quite underwhelming. So, um, what I would have liked to see is that it would have made, I guess, emoticons. I guess it's not a drawing app, right? Maybe I'm not understanding how to use it correctly, but I would say that it seems like these libraries, I can find templates online that were already just as good or maybe even better than this. So I don't know if I would actually use this in a side project. I'm really excited to see where it goes. I'm happy that Vercel did this and that we're thinking more about this. I think when I first saw this, I found this from Fireship, and he made it sound like it was mind blowing to have your own custom components. But from me playing with it, the whatever custom thing that they make from this is not. It does not seem that usable, and so not to what is it? Talk shit about Vercel. They have a lot of great products. I've heard a lot of great things, but I can say from what I saw, I probably would not use this just yet. But I'm really excited to go forward with it. So I'm gonna leave it up into the questions. Tell us to add a GIF or send an email. Also, real question is, can it teach how to Dougie? Somebody said the real question is to add teach you how to Dougie. So yeah, let's go back. We're gonna go back to it real quick and see if we can you add a GIF? I think that's an excellent question. Um, so it doesn't look okay. It's adding a GIF. What the? What type of GIF is this? Oh, you guys are probably making fun of me because it's actually GIF, not GIF. I'll be calling it GIF sometimes. Brother, don't make fun of me. I wonder what's going on with my screen. It looks like I see a line on my screen sometimes. I don't know what this is about. So yeah, there you go. We've seen it. Look at a GIF. We've seen the GIF. It is not funny. It is not a meme. It is not making me laugh. That is not cool. We can see it. That's cool. All right. So if you guys have any more things you want me to ask it, I'm laughing because the GIF is jiffing. Yeah. It is what it is, man. So I'm gonna end it. I'm not well, I guess it doesn't look like anybody has any more questions they want to ask. So final thoughts. I want to say keep looking out for this tool. It could be really cool one day, but it's not there yet. The technology is not there. So, but I'm really happy to see what Vercel is doing. But other than that, peace. All right. Somebody have one more question at the very end to make a landing page for a software as a service product. I guess I'm going to have to clip it up in order to make a landing page for a SaaS, software as a service app. So yeah, if you are an indie developer, this should be in your wheelhouse. It'll probably do something. There's probably a lot of examples of that. So let's see what it comes up with. It's generating the code. Oh, this is cool. You can see it creating it real time. Ah, it's not considering that div or that box correctly. Yeah, I could use this. Yeah. So it seems like when you ask it things that are probably more mainstream, it does a really good job. Yeah, it's not bad. But I think it's probably has a template word for this. Cool. Yeah. So it seems like maybe that was the right thing to do. Maybe I was thinking for something more custom, but it seems like if you ask it things, like let's say you're looking at a library and you're like, hey, I want it to look similar to this, then it might do a really good job because it probably have a lot of training data on specific tasks like that. So yeah, not really custom, but also let's do one more thing. Did you guys see that? Did I show you? Let us see. My bad, G. Oh my god, that's hilarious. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about. So we have my bad, G. Uh, so yeah, this is what it came up with. Features, it has a nice little emoticon right there, and yeah, it's quite beautiful. I would say I would use this. Um, so yeah, if you ask it the right question, maybe it'll come out a little bit better. And then on top of that, like you can hit. I'd say I like this, but let's see. Let's retry it. Does it give us anything that is just as beautiful? So it's starting off with the same kind of, yeah, it's not doing a good job. It's not doing a very good job of creating me something different. It seems like whatever model that it has, whatever template that it has in the back of its mind, it looks like the pricing section is different. Yeah. What if I said, can you make it more colorful? Can you choose? Can you? make the theme blue. Let's see what it does. So yeah, it's like it's doing everything over again, which I'm not a fan of. It could have just messed with the CSS. So it doesn't seem that smart, but it is doing what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a good starting point. Huh, I definitely foresee a future where we don't have to do any of this by hand, or we can start with this. Can you tell it to? Somebody said, "Can I tell it to do?" Yeah, it's a good little starter. Let's see. Can you? Let's do that. Let's say, can you mimic? Can you mimic the AWS? Um, AW or can you mimic a e-commerce site similar to Amazon? What will it do? I don't know if I've run out. Oh, I have 0 messages for the day. So yeah, these AI products are so expensive. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to Canva, but they've marked up their subscription by like 300%. So yeah, I've run out of tokens for the day, unfortunately. But I had a lot of fun. I've made the video a little bit longer than it actually should have been, but it's fine. Get some great questions. But yeah, these are my first impressions of what is this line that keeps coming on my screen? I don't know if you guys see it, but yeah, that's my first impressions of the Vercel's new generate template tool. I'm gonna cut that up. Yeah, I used to use Canva, but I just I have an affinity. I have an affinity license, so I don't really need Canva. I could probably do way more stuff. And so let me go back to my notes. I said I was going to do. I have 2 more things. I think we can go over both of them. We have time. But I was going to react to some movie clips and see if what is actually similar to what we do as programmers and what is not. So give me a second as I prepare that. Apologize for that. It looks like it gave me an option to I'm just switching screens in order to get the clips up, and it just kind of left. Yeah, my bad, bro. I left the studio for a sec, but I'm back. Let me see if I can share the screen. Cancel. Yeah, it keeps on trying to get me to leave when I do that stuff. So here it is. And I like this one. And we're gonna make it bigger. And so Start here. All right, my name is Robert Pruitt. I'm a software engineer at a FAANG company. Today we're going to be reacting to movie clips about software engineers. Hopefully, I'm gonna be able to tell you what is actually real and what is more Hollywood. Yeah, I don't really watch a lot of movies, but every time I generally see programming in like movies or scenes, it kind of makes me laugh because the art of hacking, like I've hacked before, not illegal hacking, but I practice the art of hacking for classes or whatever. It takes time. It's a lot of guessing. It's a lot of hard work, and it doesn't happen instantaneously like they show in the movies. So don't know what we're about to watch, but let's get into it. Let's go. All right. You guys hear that? Let me just double check. Can you guys hear the sound? Nobody said anything. I'm gonna go ahead and check on my phone because I hate when I make videos, reaction videos, because of that. Somebody tell me if they can hear that, man. Those reaction videos because of that. Oh, you can hear it, but you couldn't see it. That's probably another bad thing, right? Okay. Thank you guys. I apologize. So let's get into it. All right, I'm gonna stop there for a sec. I'm gonna say, do. Oh, why did it do something off? It looked like it went away. Oh, okay. I want to just say that first off, like when we code, it's generally not in a room in a party like that at school. Why is it doing that? Ugh. It switched screens on me. Ugh. All right, guys. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Let's just replay it. We're gonna replay it from the beginning. See, it's like I'll switch it and it'll mess up. Like, yeah, that's realistically how like coding looks like files, browsers, like pictures, like that is kind of like some how like code looks. But have I seen people party and code all in the same room? Yes. Did they get any good work done? Did they start the next Facebook while doing that? No. Um, Generally, yeah, coding is not something that you can do. Like, I would love to code for you guys like live, but I think it would be like as boring as is watching paint dry. And so Yeah, it's kind of realistic to how college is in some sense, but this is not every day. There we go. I'm gonna go back. So yeah, what would I like to say? Mark Zuckerberg is probably not the best engineer, nor is he the best innovator either. Because I think the premise of the movie is he stole a lot of people's idea, but he was a great businessman. He's a phenomenal businessman, probably working 12 hours a day for many years in his youth. And so, yeah, it goes back to what I was saying. If you were here in the very beginning, how business is better than coding, like the guys who can actually write the algorithms that make Facebook, they're not the guys who make Facebook. It's usually somebody who's willing to work hard, has great leadership skills, and is able to influence other people. These people ended up being the ones that influence the world. And so, yeah, it was based on a real story. Really appreciate the lessons we've learned from it. But yeah, it is what it is. So we're looking at Silicon Valley. Haven't watched it. I know the premise of it. Guy comes up with this great idea, and then they kind of like bring it into the startup culture. So let's see what they're doing in this. I've heard it's actually pretty realistic. What is that? It? That's it? I don't know. I don't even know what to react about that. I guess like let's take a look. Like you see, he has like multiple Red Bulls in a room. Like I think that's realistic in the sense that if you guys know about hackathons, they are these 24-hour live coding events where we try to make an app in like without going to sleep, whatever. And generally, we're drinking Red Bull, so that is something serious about the style of coding or whatever. But yeah, I would hopefully that dude didn't drink multiple Red Bulls in a day. Is all what I'll say was the unrealistic part. Have I seen the full movie of Social Network? I have not. They thought he died. All right, let's hop back into it. Let me see. I'm gonna play around with my settings real quick just to see if I can. Oh yeah, let's get back into it. I'm not familiar with. No. I don't know what Mr. Robot is. Let me see. I want a close up on me. I don't know what Mr. Robot is. I heard it's just life in a software engineer. Sounds like a really smart guy. I think we got some more clips that I want to react to. But yeah, and let's just take a look at the clip. Mark II. Oh, I did it again, man. I messed up the clip. So I have hotkeys, and then every time I put the hotkey down, it like that's what I want. All right, this is very realistic to what it looks like on a terminal. I used to be very big into Vim, And so I'd have like multiple terminals up. Like if you guys don't even know what's going on, I have a monitor in front of me, I have my camera right here, and then I have another monitor right here. And that way that I can still like see the chat and see who's interacting with me all at the same time. If you're a programmer and you're a software engineer and you don't have multiple monitors, you're doing yourself a disservice, because we need to process a lot of information and multitask and a lot of different things all at the same time. So very realistic so far. I guess that's the end. Yeah, I guess Mr. Robot was pretty realistic. I'm gonna get back into the big one. This has music in it. Actually, a lot of these have music in it. That's why I shouldn't have played them. Yeah, I don't want to play this if it has music. All of these kind of have music. My bad. I should not be reacting to these.
Do it.
I'd like to open a new project.
Let's do the Iron Man one.
Jarvis, you up?
I'm gonna go ahead and end these a little bit short because I realize they have too many different movie clips in them. I can't watch that, so it's fine. Real quick, I'm going to take this off. I'm gonna remove this real quick. All right, so yeah, I would say out of those clips, some of them were more realistic than others, and unfortunately, since they had too much movie of clips from the actual movie, I think I'll probably get in trouble for that. So I'm gonna stop that. I forgot, but we are looking at one from the Steve Jobs movie. I don't think it didn't sound like it had any music. Yeah, I think this is realistic to how kind of meetings happen in these tech companies, is that, there's some dreamers in there, really pushing really hard for things. And then some of us are more like, man, we just want to go home and have a good life. And then, yeah, it's just like, I don't know why these Steve Jobs type characters go really far in tech, they're really good at business and leading others, but unfortunately they're really willing to like burn out people. Like if you've heard of Steve Jobs like screaming at people, making fun of them, ridiculing them in order to get the best out of them, that is still a big part of many cultures, especially when you think about FAANG. I don't know. I imagine it's probably still prevalent at Apple and Amazon as well, but it's ugly and beautiful all at the same time. I'm gonna go ahead and stop there for a moment. Yeah, like this is kind of realistic in the sense, like as software engineers, like you saw how the software engineer was talking about, hey bro, like this requirement that you have is just not like, it's not that useful. Like, we need to get something out and move. And that's very, like, I would say that is my life. Like sometimes product managers have these great visions for what they want the product to be, but we don't have time, and I don't think they know how much time it's going to take. And so it's definitely a battle between software engineers and product managers in order to turn in things on time and turn in quality. So definitely, who knew that the typeface would be a standard for applications after what Apple did? And so, when you think about how much he took from people in order to make his visions come true, right? I think we're about to see him like scream at people. It's changed the world. And that's beautiful. It's like some of the things you do as a software engineer especially with the job I work with. It's like when you get the problems right, you could change the very direction of the business completely. But it definitely does take a sacrifice. Definitely takes, what he said, taking risks. But yep, he got fired. And Steve Jobs got fired at one point too. So just remember that too. A little bit of music at the end, so I'm gonna end that. Man, I don't think you guys know that was super real. Well, depending, especially if you're at a startup and you're trying to make money, like there's guys like that who walk around and that dude was about to cry. There's a lot of like tears in this journey, man. Like, I don't want to well, let's just say this. When I was at Twitch, there was none of that. It was super chill. But at my current job, it's more like that. And if you go to a startup, you will see tears. People will try to get the best out of you in order to make their visions come true. And yeah, that's one reason I think you guys, you might get the bag, right? Like you might make a lot of money, but it's a political game. Like sometimes you got to run from these dudes. Let me see if any of y'all have a question. See, and look, like somebody said, just say you say and try it. And after you try, then you need more time. That's not gonna fly. That's not gonna fly. Like there is no trying in business. There's either you completed the mission or you didn't. And so sometimes that's what I'm saying. Like if you guys saw, like what I was talking about, more money, more problems. As you go up the food chain, you get blamed number one for stuff going wrong. And so there is no trying in business. Like, can you imagine, like, let's say somebody put their whole life savings into a business and you're like, hey, like, I tried, and now that person is now broke in debt, and they need to they went from being a millionaire all the way down to being broke again and needing to, what is the word? I can't believe I'm not. But you get the point what I'm trying to say. Like, there is no trying with these guys. Either you get the job done or you didn't. And if you didn't, then there will be, your ass is grass. Let me see what else. You can mute the video, hopefully. Swedes, I would like it. You know how, like, construction workers, software engineers are like the construction workers. Like sometimes and that's when like my manager said something like, not my manager. I know somebody at Google that said something like some really big guys gave some really important tasks to some junior engineers at Google when they should have did it. But coding is like lifting weights with your mind. Like as you get older, you don't want to do that stuff. You want to send other people to do the hard work so that you don't get blamed when things go wrong. And so that's another reason why sometimes startups do better, is because generally you have people that have the experience and the knowledge to, make some of these things come true. Let's see. What I'm saying is, don't just say no in the meeting. Just do it and implement it. Then look at the issue and challenges and move forward. What do you think? Right. But let me ask you this. What if, they said they had a hard deadline? Let's say they had only 2 weeks left, right? And they could get a product out. They wanted to get at least something out so that they could start making money. And then you have Steve Jobs saying, like, if we don't make the types, then we shouldn't even push the product. And so you have to spend, in order to get the types done, you're going to have to spend 80 hours over the next 2 weeks, 80 hours a week to get the types out. You're going to spend time away from your wife, time away from your children. You're going to, your family is not even going to recognize you because you're going to be a emotionless zombie to them, right? Next thing you know, your wife is cheating on you. Next thing you know, your kids are grown up. So it's like it's a balancing act. Like, do you really want to? And that's what I say. Like, some things about these FAANG companies, right? Like at Google, you don't work that hard, but you don't make, the harder you work, the more meaningful projects that you get. But when you're not working hard, you don't get the opportunities to make the most money and, make impact on the world. So there's a huge difference between a software engineer who's working 40 hours a week and somebody who joined a startup and wanted to go all the way from the bottom all the way up. So just consider that. Like, you're gonna have, and look, like, I don't know if you like playing video games. I don't know if you like, spending time with your friends, but like some of these product managers want you to be committed like a religion. So I have seen PMs grilling squeeze leads when they said they couldn't get it done in a certain amount of time. So when they say yes and you fail, it's all on you, love. Yeah, and that's another thing, right? Like, it's political games. Sometimes product managers will throw other people under the bus. I've heard of that as well. So you gotta, it's not, and I hope you guys really appreciate. It's not always about just coding. It's working with people, and that's something that I did not do a really good job with back in the day. So that's why.
With Asana, you can.
I'm not getting paid to show these ads, so I'm going to turn that off for a sec. All right, let's turn this back on. I'm glad I finally figured out how to like actually show the video correctly. Thank you guys for bearing with me for a minute. So we're watching a Silicon Valley scene. Let's take a look.
You could have withdrawn your application before any of this happened. This is exactly why we need to have clear lines of communication.
I know, Jared, I know.
I'd like to institute an organizational system called Scrum. Scrum is designed specifically...
All right, you have 1 hour, go.
No, it's musty.
What's going on? Gilfall bet me $100 that if I touched one object in this room, he could find it just by sniffing. Okay, not now, please.
No, it has to be now. I just masturbated to heighten my focus. I have a 15-minute refractory period.
Ow. Well, we have a lot of work to get done, so maybe we should do that instead, please. Dude, relax, okay? We each ripped through a full module this morning. We're just taking a little break. DRM is now a thing of beauty.
Wait, you did DRM?
Yeah?
I did DRM.
Why did you do DRM? I said I would do DRM, you would do error handling.
Anything to do with errors sounds like your whole vibe.
Yeah, I handle errors
Scrum?
every day.
Yes, Scrum.
Scrum. So, from rules-based filtering.
Yeah, what did I just see? Like, there are some weirdos in tech. There are some weirdos in tech. You definitely do see those personalities. I think people hold it together a lot better than what that guy just showed. I don't know. I have not worked at a startup, but I think, when I think about software engineers, I think about people with really high intelligence, but they have very low social intelligence. So you do see some of what stood out to me in that scene was the weirdness of that dude talking about sniffing some stuff and like masturbating or whatever. So, but at the same time, that dude might be a guy who will save you. Like, I don't want to. I have some people. I have some teammates that I feel like I don't even know how their childhood it went out. I'm not going to talk about their relationship status or anything like that. But they do some things that I completely disagree with. But at the same time, I can count on those people when I'm in trouble. And so for that reason, I don't give I think that dude like worships of Satan. I don't give a damn about any of that stuff. Like, if that dude was, you know, the guy that's going to talk to my manager when they're thinking about firing me, like, you know, I would feel like that dude is my brother, like he from another mother, and we'd be so close. So I just want to put that in perspective as well.
We go to workflow, at which point that card is moved from the icebox into the in progress column, and it stays there until it is ready for testing. Okay, this increases visibility into our team's progress. And that, gentlemen, is Scrum. Welcome to the next 8 weeks of our lives.
This just became a job.
Okay, so here are the cards I'm adding under this epic for the ingestion engine. And there are 3 stories here. How long do we think each one will take?
I don't know. Who cares? 4 hours apiece?
Yeah, maybe for you. Each one of those tasks would take me 3 max.
Not tasks, stories.
I've got a story. Why don't you choke on my balls?
Well, how about this? Why don't you each take 1 story, right? Okay. And we'll see who's right.
You see what he's doing, right? He's trying to get us to compete so we work faster. He thinks this wall of Psych 101 MBA mind control bullshit is going to motivate us.
Fine, don't compete. Do them at whatever speed you like. Jared.
I know.
So I want to talk about Scrum real quick. Scrum is like, it's kind of funny to me, like that they have a title called Scrum Master. I think that's a bullshit title. But you know, I don't know. Maybe I've never had a useful Scrum Master that I feel like. Yeah, definitely. You don't be cussing at people. You know, that's about. You know, I'll probably say that I've cussed at, you know, teammates, and yeah, it can get pretty intense, especially when you're arguing with people. That is a part of it, but I think so. There's 2 methods. There's the waterfall method where you have 8 weeks and you try to like come up, you know, finish a product in 8 weeks. And then there's the like agile method where like you have 2 weeks, you get something done, and then you do 2 more weeks at a time. So, but you do generally have these Jira boards. I really like Jira. I think it's a great way to keep the team aligned on what's going on. And it is a way that you can save yourself. Like when somebody wants to blame you, and you can go back to your Jira ticket and say, hey, I was blocked for this amount of time. That's why I didn't turn it in on the due date. So if you are a software engineer or aspiring and want to get more into this, like I would really pay attention to implementing a project deeply with Scrum. And so just keep that in mind. Like I didn't understand why this stuff was important back in the day, but when I have a project and, you know, we got those Steve Jobs product managers, you know, I am writing everything down, putting in points, and being very detailed about how these things go.
All these guys, I really don't think Scrum is going to work for them.
Okay, well, just trust in the system.
So we're going to work at a nice leisurely pace, right?
Sure.
But why are you tapping faster?
I'm not. Maybe my leisurely pace is just a little faster than yours.
Oh, cocksucker.
Oh, booyah.
Guys, have you been out front yet? Because you might want to come see this.
I'm good.
Fuck off. We're working. Wow.
Skip the video and
Ugh.
only suffers every second. They need your support.
Excuse me. Let me just take that off for a sec. But yeah, I guess I'll take this time to just talk about people generally don't compete to do tasks. I think that's kind of unrealistic. I guess, was that the end of the clip? What happened?
No. Leisurely pace, right?
Because you might.
Fuck off. We're working.
Yeah, I guess that was the end of the clip. Yep. All right. It looks like some people dropped off. Let's watch one more scene.
You can't just leave your bike. You can't just leave your bike car in my Tesla spot and Uber home. That's not fair, Guilfoyle.
You don't seem to understand. It's my spot now.
What are they doing back?
Hey, where have you been?
Sleeping.
What? All night? We assumed you guys were right behind us. What's happening?
Oh. Something is happening. When you left, I thought he was fried. Okay? Because his shoulders were all tight, and he wouldn't answer to his name, and his eyes went dead, like when I tell him I love him. But then he just got stronger, and he started picking up speed. So I texted a few of the Slice Line guys, and then they texted some of the Optimoji guys, and they all wanted to see it. Richard has finished the scheduler and is almost ready to merge the serverless runtime. Look.
He implemented all those tasks by himself? It was supposed to take the whole team 4 days.
It's amazing. I mean, I feel like Mary Magdalene on Resurrection Day. And that's not the greatest miracle of all. Look at the coders. They're all wearing Pied Piper hoodies.
He pushed another commit.
What the fuck? Flawless, right?
It takes a while to read a whole commit.
They've been cheering after every commit. I mean, they haven't, but it's great.
I thought I had to ship my pants. So, I actually gone
Ugh.
reflex kicked in and I just...
Damn. Oh my God, brother. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a programmer that just could do the work of like wow. I don't know if I've ever seen a programmer be able to do the work of a whole team by itself. I have seen programmers carry the team because they're the most experienced engineer there, but I haven't seen like a brilliant programmer just come in and just like carry the entire team by himself. I don't know if you meet those at a startup or what, but I think that is kind of unrealistic. But yeah, let me see. We got a GameNGen pilgrimage in here. Ugh. Looks like everybody dropped out for a moment. I guess how long is this stream going? It's been an hour and 46 minutes. Do I want to keep going? Seems like everybody has dropped. I have some food coming in like 15 minutes, and I am kind of tired. I guess, we'll end it there for today. I guess I had too many things on the list, but really appreciate everybody who showed up. You make this so, I feel like we're making my dreams come through one day at a time. And yeah, I guess, let me see. It's like I named the stream something. I guess we're gonna we might do one more video because I named the stream something that I was supposed to do, which was about AI taking our jobs. I guess I should do one more video. All right, we're going to do one more just so I can keep copacetic with the entire... I don't know if I can. In 30 minutes? Let's see. How much time do I have left? I don't want to stop in the middle. And then I hear these noises outside. I ordered some food and it's not coming, and so I'm kind of like upset. Hmm. Hmm. What do I want to do? I definitely want to order something to eat. Give me a sec. I am. All right. This doesn't look like anybody's in here anyway. I'm gonna take a short intermission so I can get me something to eat, and we'll be back and do the last video of the day. It looks like everything is closed. Oh, somebody in here. I'm taking a short intermission and get me something to eat, man. I feel like I always eat Indian food, man. Uh, I wonder who's in here watching. Ugh, spending too much money. I deserve it. All right, we're gonna do one last video, and I wanted to make it as part of the title of the video, which is ranting about AI and is it going to replace jobs today. I just want to tell you guys that I think that this AI hype it's just hype. I think a lot of people are saying that AI has taken jobs away from software engineers, and I disagree. And I think they're being quite indirect in what they're saying. AI cannot do anything that a software engineer can do right now. They're not good enough to replace us. However, I do feel like the products that many people had visions of, they realize that AI is going to do a better job of making these products in the future. So I think companies are very hesitant to hire software engineers right now because we don't know exactly what is going to land in the next 5 years. So we are hesitant. Excuse me, I just backed all the way up for no reason. We are quite hesitant right now. If you can't find a job, it's okay. It's part of the industry. It'll come back up eventually. Keep your skills sharp. And so let's just look at some of these videos about it.
So what if phone flipping, barbering?
Let me turn that off. I don't want you guys to hear that. I'm getting to the video. We're reacting to a video by Lex Friedman. And yeah, he says the title of it is about, is software engineer going to replace, or is AI going to replace software engineers?
Next up, I got a question on AI, which I emotionally connected with. I'll condense it as follows. Hello, Lex. I'm a programmer, and I have a deep fear of slipping into irrelevance because I am worried that AI will soon exceed my programming skills. Let me first say that I relate to your fear. It's scary to have a thing that gives you a career and gives you meaning to be taken away. For me, programming is a passion. And if not for this podcast, it would probably, at least in part, be my profession. So I get an uncomfortable feeling every time Claude, the LLM I use for coding at this time, just writes a lot of excellent, approximately correct code. I think you can make a good case that it already exceeds the skill of many programmers, at least in the same way that the collective intelligence of Stack Overflow exceeds the skill of many programmers, many individual programmers. But in many ways, it still does not. But I think eventually, more and more, the task, the profession of programming will be one of writing natural language prompts. I think the right thing to do, and what I'm at least doing, is to ride the wave of the ever-improving code-generating LLMs and keep transforming myself into a big picture.
Yeah, all you can do is ride the wave. Like, am I scared that AI is going to take my job? Sometimes I'm more scared than others, but I feel like I'll just find something else to spend my life on.
Picture designer versus low-level tinkerer. What I'm doing and what I recommend you do is continually switch to whatever state-of-the-art tool is for generating code. So for me currently, I recently switched from VS Code to Cursor, and before that it was Emacs to VS Code switch. So Cursor is this editor that's based on VS Code that leans heavily on LLMs and integrates the code generation really nicely into the editing process. So it makes it super easy to continually use the LLMs. So what I would advise and what I'm trying to do myself is to learn how to use it and to master its code generation capabilities. I personally try to now allocate a significant amount of time to designing with natural language first versus writing code from scratch. So using my understanding of programming to edit the code that's generated by the LLM versus sort of writing it from scratch and then using the LLM to generate small parts of the code. I see it as a skill that I should develop in parallel to my programming skill. I think this applies to many other careers too. Don't compete with AI for your job. Learn to use the AI to do that job better. But yes, it is scary on some deep sort of human level, the threat of being replaced. But at least I think we'll be okay.
I agree, and I hope you guys I remember I was telling this woman or one of my friends, right? She was asking me all these questions, like, ask ChatGPT. I don't know everything, and she was like, she felt a little bit hesitant, right? Because it's like the same thing. ChatGPT is probably a better programmer than her, but still, that doesn't matter. You have to use these tools or they're going to leave you behind. If I don't use these tools, they're going to leave me behind. And so, yeah, it's just, it's interesting how much I lean on it. Like I think people have seen a tremendous productivity push in this era because of the coding tools. I have not used Cursor AI, but I would like to get more into it and see it. But yeah, we've been using code generation tools since the like 90s, and so I don't think it's as big as what they're saying. Uh, I'm not, at least at this moment, I'm not that afraid, but I'm sure it could happen, and it might. It probably will. The job title of being a software engineer and running code, lots of code, will probably go away, and it's sad. Like as much as I love and hate coding, to think that I won't be able to do it in the future does kind of upset me. But I think that's just part of life. Like, can you imagine, having a farm and then going from the farm into the factories? So, yeah, I'm just setting it up. Yeah, it is. It's tough, but you know, it's part of life. Change is part of life, and I'm really excited to see where we go with the AI wave. I'm just clicking this. I'm just looking at an ad now. So we're looking at a clip by this guy. I think the Amazon CEO said something like, "We're going to be done with engineering in the next 2 years," and that's so good because I don't want to write all this code, bro. But let's take a look.
Saved us the equivalent of 4,500 developer years of work. What's up, everybody? How's it going? This past weekend, I came across a post on LinkedIn about AI from none other than Andy Jassy. He's the current CEO of Amazon, who replaced Chad Bezos a few years ago. And in this video, I want to share this post because I think that it really captures the true impact of AI on software engineering, the impact that it's having right now and that it's going to continue having on this industry. So I'll just read through the post and give my comments. It starts out with one of the most tedious but critical tasks for software development teams is updating foundational software. Very true. If you've been in software engineering for even just 1 year, you've likely experienced a migration. You have to migrate an entire code base to a new framework, or you have to upgrade an entire code base to the latest version of the language, and it's very, very tedious. It's not new feature work, no, it's not, and it doesn't feel like you're moving the experience forward. As a result, this work is either dreaded or put off for more exciting work, or both. So I can totally relate, and I'm sure that many of you can totally relate to this. During the 2 years and 2 months and 8 days, if I remember correctly, that I was at Google as a software engineer, I remember I had to take part in many of these migrations. Namely, the big one that we had to do was we had to migrate the entire Google Cloud Platform UI to TypeScript, from JavaScript to TypeScript. And I think that we had to upgrade Angular from like Angular 1 or 1.5, whatever it was called, to Angular 2. And that was a lot of work. Like, by my rough estimate, I probably spent about 20% of my software engineering time at Google working on these migrations. And I remember, like, I really disliked it. It was like really boring, really tedious. Like you said, it didn't feel like new features.
Yeah, that's part of being a software engineer. There's a lot of unsexy work, a lot of pushing pencils. But imagine what he's saying. Gives the company a lot of value, saves them, makes them money, and keeps them safer. And so it's extremely important work, but it's not always fun. And like you get to show how intelligent you are as an engineer.
Work, it didn't really feel like the kind of work that would help me get promoted or teach me new stuff about engineering. It wasn't exciting. And the exact same thing happened at AlgoExpert, my company. We had to migrate the entire code base, the front end code base, to TypeScript. We had to migrate the entire front end code base to the latest version of React, functional components. We also had to upgrade many times like the actual coding solutions to our algorithm style coding interview problems in certain languages. Like,
I'm gonna
I'll
speed it
link
up.
to the post. Amazon Q, our Gen AI assistant for software development, so probably some internal AI tool, is trying to bring some light to this heaviness. We have a new code transformation capability, and here's what we found when we integrated it into our internal systems and applied it to our needed Java upgrades. Brace yourself, you might want to be sitting down when you hear this. The average time to upgrade an application to Java 17 plummeted from what's typically 50 developer days. So 50 developer days, that's almost 2 months of a software engineer working exclusively on upgrading a single application at Amazon to Java 17. It plummeted to just a few hours. Almost 2 months of work for a software engineer to just 2 hours. Okay? Or a few hours. We estimate that this has saved us the equivalent of 4,500 developer years of work. 4,500 developer years of work. Did you guys hear me? Years of work. Yes, that number is crazy, but real. I don't think that the CEO of Amazon, one of the largest companies in the world, would publicly say on LinkedIn an outrageous number like that it has saved them the equivalent of 4,500 developer years, and then acknowledge that that number is crazy, but say that it's real, but be lying. In other words, I think he's telling the truth.
I would agree. It's interesting, but that just frees up developers to do more complicated problems. I don't think it has harmed their jobs.
And I believe it. I believe that it will work for us. So let's continue. In under 6 months, we've been able to upgrade more than 50% of our production Java systems to modernized Java versions at a fraction of the usual time and effort. And our developers have shipped 79% of the auto-generated code reviews without any additional changes. And again, this is something that I can definitely believe, because I look back at the times that I did these migrations at Google and on AlgoExpert, and all the time, the reviews, when you're reviewing the other engineers' work, where they migrated the application, there isn't much to review, because if the pull request or the change list passes all the internal tests, all you have to do is kind of skim through it, make sure they clearly didn't tweak any major other things in the system, and it should be good. And all the time, or most of the time, it is good. In other words, it usually doesn't require that much review. It's very quick to review because they don't care about it.
Yeah. So what we see here is that it's not necessarily, it hasn't taken our jobs, but it's done things that we dislike and that can free up our time. I'd be afraid when it starts, people say that it starts making Uber. Amazon is getting into Uber because they've generated so much code that it's so easy to get into that business. That would be, a time where I'd be afraid.
So then, let's go into the math. The benefits go beyond how much effort we've saved developers. The upgrades have enhanced security. Okay, probably you're on newer versions of Java, or you're on better, you're on TypeScript, so it's a bit more secure. And reduced infrastructure costs, providing an estimated 260 million in annualized efficiency gains. 260 million in annualized efficiency gains. And that makes sense. If you look at it 4,500 developer years, which, by the way, that figure was likely gotten by the fact that if it saves about 2 months of developer days, 2 months of developer work for one application, and you think that Amazon has thousands, maybe more than dozens of thousands of applications to upgrade, then yeah, you get to the 4,500 figure in developer year. Amazon itself.
20,
100. Let's get back.
Say this is a great example of how large-scale enterprises can gain significant efficiencies in foundational software hygiene work by leveraging Amazon Q. It's been a game changer for us, and not only do our Amazon teams plan to use it or use this transformation capability more, but our Q teams plan to add more transformations for developers to leverage. In other words, he's hinting at this AI is going to be able to do more stuff, maybe more complicated migrations, more complicated upgrades. So to me, this post is really wonderful. First of all, like, it is insanely impressive. Like, I don't think you can look at this and not be impressed. Just the sheer amount of time and therefore money saved is incredible. But I think that this really speaks to the true impact of AI on software engineering. My most recent video was, I shared my honest thoughts about the current state of the industry and how, right now the industry, software engineering, is not doing great at all. It's really rough to get a job. And I talked about AI, how some people are doomers about AI. They think that AI is going to completely replace software engineers. And other people, which is likely the camp that I fall into, are more optimistic about AI. And I think this post supports that optimism. AI is going to replace all of the tedious work that software engineers have to do. All these migrations, these upgrades, these internal updates that are super boring, not exciting, you're not doing feature work, they're invisible to the end customer, you really feel like a cog in the machine when you're doing them. Well, guess what? You're no longer going to have to do them because AI is going to do them for you. I can only imagine that if I were back at Google, where I had spent, let's say, about 20% of my time working on migrating a code base to Angular 2 from Angular and to TypeScript from JavaScript, if I had been able to spend that 20% time doing just more feature work, I would have been way more happy. Upper management would have been thrilled. I remember there was so much work on Google Cloud Platform that we needed to do and that we were just never able to do. It's like this infinite race. Like we're never able to complete all the work. It would have been incredible. And if you can imagine that AI is just going to keep getting better, right? So it might allow you to make some of your feature work faster, right? Some of the tedious things for feature work is going to be faster. All the, let's say, generating skeleton files, like all the crap that you just hate doing as a software engineer, AI is going to do it or is already doing it. And so I think that if you're a software engineer who's kind of scared right now, worried about AI, this should do the opposite. It should give you motivation, learn AI, start to work.
All right, I agree with this guy. So we've seen two sides. We've seen one guy say hey, I'm afraid it's going to take my job, get a use the tool, and then we see another side that's hey, this stuff is making my life better. It's taking my suffering away, and it's giving me more time to work on things that I love. Maybe one day AI is going to take away the things we love, but then we will find new things to love and fall in love with. So I know it's a scary time to be an engineer, but rejoice. The future is bright for us to still show how much we know in our careers. Amazon Q cannot do, still not perfect yet. Still not able to replace me as a software engineer. And if you continue to work hard and be the best programmer that you could be, perhaps one day it will not be able to replace you. So, but until then, peace, deuces. We are out.